I had a bunch of Skulls kids or whoever from all the different Ivy Leagues, not all Skulls, but like a lot of them messaged me when I said in the last podcast, messaged me if in their elite things. Some of them created dummy Instagram accounts. Some of them were very funny and clearly not in Skull and Bones, and clearly just some of them were actually very funny and everything like that. A few of them I thought were very legit, and a lot of them were just like, yeah, it's a high level fraternity where we're trying to create bonds amongst people we think are going to be future leaders, which I get, and none of us know each other, so we're all just trying to we go into these hyper-personal situations. We all tell each other everything about ourselves and our secrets and blah, 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 blah. I get that. Like, I'm not as weirded out by that. I still think it's just the beginning of creating an elite. I get it. It's not that it's like, that's very understandable to me. I totally get that. But then you look at it's still going on when you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s. Like, you're not in college anymore. There's no homoerotic fun of being like, ooh, I'm in the coffin next to you. You know? They don't even whack off in front of each other anymore at the Skull and Bones initiation. It's like, that's the fun part. That's the real fun part, you know? I messaged Adam Friedland. I said, you want to jerk off in a coffin? We don't even have to go to Connecticut. I said, I can make that happen because I know your girlfriend and you just had a problem. Doesn't matter. Leave that communist. It doesn't matter. I'll take you to a coffin and treat you right. The point is this. So that the sorority secret fraternity shit, I kind of get because it's college kids and they're trying, fucking college is weird. Now, by the way, I'm not saying that as the great Ray Combs said, listen, it's the most powerful fraternity in the world. That's not nothing. It's not nothing. And he's, listen to me. And he's right. Fat Raymond visiting LA, by the way, next week.
Yes.
LA gets Fat Raymond.
Very excited.
We're taking him to the Pink Wall. We're taking him to the Influencers. We're taking him to the Beverly Hills Hotel. He's just going to destroy the city. I hope he destroys the entire city. He's just going to come in and just destroy the entire city. He's going to throw a lit cigarette and start the Malibu fire again. Rogan's going to have to be evacuated again because Fat Ray is going to throw a cigarette in a fucking, in a wooded area. Yeah. But it is fucking, so on the one end, like the Skull and Bones and that stuff and all of those elite groups, I think that that's like a farm team for who will eventually be the big power players and who will eventually do some probably nefarious things. But that's not nearly as weird to me as the Bohemian Grove. It's just a super weird. Now it's the same principle, right? It's the same principle. But the people are a lot older. It's just interesting. It's odd. And Alex Jones exposed that. And again, it's well worth a watch and it's well worth a chat about it. It's fun to chat, to go, I know that everything's about money eventually. I'm not stupid. And I know that everybody wants money and power. But it's very interesting to go, what role does the occult play in this stuff? Even just the optics of it. Like, why are people so married to the optics of the occult in the ruling class? Is it a way to just be edgy?
Right.
You know, because it could be, right?
Right, like James Alefantis' Instagram account, when we were looking at that. You're like, this is just rich people just trying to be edgy. Well, trying to be cool.
Maybe.
Right.
Here's the thing. I don't know. I believe that there was probably a kernel of truth in the Pizzagate thing. That doesn't mean that the whole thing was true. And the reason I don't think it's true or not as true as people said it was is because there were no victims. Franklin scandal, victims, book written about it. Grand juries were subpoenaed to cover it up. Pizzagate, there were no victims. So unless you believe that they're killing fucking everybody.
Right.
It's odd. Epstein, again, victims, hundreds, thousands. There's got to be victims for these type of things, I think, to have credibility, because they do. The Franklin scandal, you know, when the Hollywood madam was killed, Deborah Jean Palfrey, who said, I'm not suicidal, and then killed herself. There's none of this is, but yeah, so when you look at those Instagram accounts, you're like, Pizzagate Instagram accounts, you're like, what the fuck's going on? Because these are weird accounts. So like, it's either rich people trying to be edgy, which I think they do, because a lot of rich people are just boring, and they haven't really had normal, fulfilling experiences in life. So they try to be edgy and they don't know how to do it. And they their life famously in many cases doesn't have any stakes. So that what they're trying to do is be dangerous and edgy, but I don't know. So when you look at the occult stuff, you go, is it that? Or is there something a little more sinister, a little darker, a little more superstitious? I don't know. And I don't know that I'll ever know. I'll only be able to look at it and glean from it what I think. The Hollywood messaging and all like the music videos and stuff. Is it overtly occult? Is it trying to brainwash kids and whatever? I don't know. I think some of the people that work in Hollywood are very sick. And God only knows what they would like to do. God only knows what music videos would look like if Dan Schneider directed all of them. You know what I mean? God only knows. So I don't know. I don't, but I do think there's a fair amount of that. But I also think a lot of it, again, is just people trying to be edgy, trying to be goth, trying to be interesting. Billie Eilish is not that talented. She's just not that good.